Well, for starters, I mean, Charles mentioned it before the game. We were talking in the group chat. You were waiting for the lineup to drop. I mean, last year we had Rodri being dropped from the 11 for absolutely no reason. Like Pep was actually asked why, and he was just like, did like some, did one of them Pep shrugs and said some bullshit that never even mattered about anything. So the lineups come out. He didn't really do much with it. I like the lineup that he put out. In all honesty, the game was pretty ass. Inter actually played extremely well. Inter had chances to win that game, and Inter's also the type of team that like gives us kind of trouble with like the formations and how they play. Actually, I was listening to the Shirtless Plantain Show podcast, and they brought up some film and some tweets on it, and they kind of have a similar style to what Brentford does. And Brentford beat City twice this year. Like they actually had our number, and they have way more. The Inter team has way more quality than the Brentford team, obviously. So they had hella chances. I mean, if I was Inter, I probably would have wanted Lukaku to start that game, and then maybe bring Dzeko in, kind of switch that off a little bit. But we didn't necessarily play well. We gave them hella chances. They just didn't take advantage of it. And then, Charles' favorite player, with the game-winning goal, Rodri. What a beautiful human being, man. God, just handing down the torch from Boozy. It's you're gonna be good. You're gonna be set for years to come, man. You'll be all right. You're welcome.
We'll see, man. I got faith in him. I mean, when he plays the World Cup at center back, I worry a little bit.
What do you need to see?
But no, I was going through hell during that game though, for real though, ML, because Inter was playing well. KDB goes off, and I'm like, oh shit, like here we go. This is once again, like this is deja vu all over again. But the fact that we won that game is just a find a way to win mentality, and that's what we did. We found a way, and Lukaku started looking like he was playing in Tim's again back in Manchester United, which really fucking helped us out. So
love it. Love it. Ax, go ahead. Give us your thoughts, man. I'm excited for you. Welcome. You have completed a full year of you being fully invested into a season, brother.
Honestly, most of this podcast is going to be me shaking my head. Carter came on here with the audacity to wear a V-neck kit with no undershirt. It's disgusting. The light-skinned titty meat is blinding in that light with the fucking ring cam in the background. It's disgusting. I got to hear this man get his shit off. And I really don't have much to counter with, right? Because my team bottled it. So I'm just disgusted. But it was a great year of football overall, you know what I'm saying? And I'm excited for next year. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for next year. But today's all about Carter, so I won't even try to hate any more than I already have.
Dion, what do you think about City's performance? I think buttholes got a little tight the last 20 minutes.
I thought the game sucked. But Champions League is mostly for Americans anyway. Us European football fans, like we already knew the greatness of City going into the game. This was more so for Americans to watch like a noon or a 3 p.m. kickoff to where they could feel involved in the sport a little bit. So I'm mostly happy that people like ML were able to see City play on a stage. You know what I mean? Because we know you don't watch domestic. In terms of X's comment about a great year, I thought this year stunk. I'll be honest. Listen, this City team was last team standing. And sometimes that's more of an accomplishment than being the best team in the world the way they were last year, right? And sometimes you're just the last team standing. I don't think there was a ton of talent. The EPL stunk. Barcelona flamed out of the Champions League in the knockout stage. Bayern shit themselves. Madrid, Vinicius was ready to be on a Brazilian island. And then obviously, like, PSG has all the talent in the world and they all hate each other. So, sometimes the most important thing to do is the cohesiveness that City team has and how much they fuck with each other. And then you bring in that big ass energetic Norwegian to really just turn them up the way he did too.
Can we be honest? Well, didn't that feel hollow? Like, I know it's in the grand scheme of things, yeah, but I don't know. Man,
the treble?
I don't know, all of it. It's just
explain yourself. This is important.
I mean, did it feel hollow because like winning's starting to get old somewhat? But like this is a new trophy, so it gave us a little kick. But obviously, I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy the season's over. To be honest, it was a tough. Dion kind of definitely summed it up a little bit. We kind of just outlasted everybody. I don't necessarily think we played that great, to be honest with you, but you know, you just have to have things go your way. Like even last season, you know, Real Madrid had to do that absolute madness against us that I can't even explain how it happened, but it happened. And none of that happened to us this year. We just outlasted everybody. And I mean, shit, coming into that Inter game, City was like minus 600 favorites for a reason. And that's in a Champions League final. That's like disgusting behavior. Inter was shitty this year. Like, let's not act. They had a good run in Champions League, but they were very shitty this year. So it is what it is. Did it feel
So what
hollow though,
happened-
X? No, it's not hollow at all, brother.
So
'Cause I know, it's
exactly
your
what
I know,
happened.
I know it's your first year, but trebles don't come around
Yeah,
often.
man. Like, Charles, jump in real quick.
I'm saying,
you can
you mean that
speak
thing
to
that
the
we
treble.
told him was going to happen in September? That
Not
we
a
trying to-
treble, though.
That we
You didn't-
warned him in September. No, what he's saying is hollow. The reason he's saying that is because now it seems so, it came so easy. You didn't,
Yeah.
you thought they were going to have to, like, it's
Look,
the ease at which it came. And we tried to tell you,
The
to tell you
hardest-
it was inevitable.
It's like watching
It wasn't
Alabama
hard.
win national titles. It's like
No,
look,
see, no,
No,
admit
it's
it,
not.
no, but
admittedly,
but
the talent
no,
gap
it's not.
between you guys
No, but-
and everybody else.
But
is
that's
not what
different.
that's not what
Yeah,
ML
but when
said.
LSU is good, it makes a difference. That you guys aren't LSU. You're not an actual
Also,
formidable,
X, last thing I'm gonna say
opposition.
on this is like if we beat y'all, it's like, okay, like you shake my hand, you say y'all are the better team, y'all are better than us. Y'all didn't even take our best punch, and y'all couldn't even take the fucking. We just gave y'all a jab, little stomach, and y'all went
No.
down. Y'all ribs are broken.
I came on this very podcast and I said, yo, I thought we were in the same weight class, and we are not. We are nowhere close to y'all. I came on here and I said that. And so now I think y'all toughest test was the Madrid. That felt like the actual Champions League final, right? But then once we saw you guys watch Madrid 4-0 in the second game, it was like, all right, nobody's touching them.
Okay,
Like, did anybody really think that Inter stood a chance? You kept them in the game because you played poorly, but in terms of talent, like, bro, it's just y'all are so much fucking better than everybody else. That
So
it's
let me combat that just for a quick second on the Madrid front. All right. It wasn't that they were just playing against Madrid. It was all the fucking anger they had from last year balled up into one. And because they were able to play at the Etihad the second leg, that was City's best performance since I think I've watched them since Pep has been there. I think bar none, that was the best performance.
Let's remember that you only watched the Champions League game. So like
No,
that's
I
hollow.
watched. Okay.
If anything's hollow, it's that statement.
You're incorrect. I've seen City does not listen. City even against United when they won 6-3 this year. City they didn't even play that great against Arsenal. They didn't even. I've seen them against Liverpool when they go and beat Liverpool, which actually doesn't happen a ton. I've also seen City lose to fucking Tottenham year after year. City against Madrid, that was an unbelievable performance, and they all even talked about it afterwards. Now we could dream about a treble because they put in a complete performance. Anybody who watched the match, and it's just not beyond Champions League, I watch a lot of City. I talk to Carter about City probably every week. So we can chill.
They didn't. It was their best performance because that was the most comfortable Haaland was the whole year, right? They're like most important player, second most important player. They're number 9. Like that was the most comfortable he was. That was the most locked in. That was the most involved he was by far. He probably had more touches in that game than he had like the whole first 6 months on City.
Sure.
So it's like, it's not so much that was their best performance since you started watching them play. They put together like maybe not a new team, but a new style of play, and it just took a while for them to get comfortable. That's the only reason y'all had a fucking 10-point lead or whatever it was at some point. It wasn't because y'all were playing good.
Do you think it was that, or do you think that? I mean, let's be honest, right? We saw City all year, and it kind of felt like they were sleepwalking their way through the Prem season, right? And so, do you think that maybe Pep was switching up lineups, trying to find a spark, trying to find something, right? Like all the quotes in the media. Why do you think he was saying those things? Because he was trying to get his team to actually wake up. His team was so good, and they knew it, and they played like it. The reason that was their best performance because they actually gave a shit. There was stakes. The stakes were real. There was something on the line for them because they knew they could just show up to most of these games and dominate. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't need to be great for 90 minutes. They just had to put it together for 20. And in most games, that was going to be enough. So they sleepwalked their way to a treble because they're just that good, man. Honestly,
They didn't sleepwalk through a treble, though. They didn't sleepwalk through a treble.
They were definitely challenged in the FA Cup.
13 seconds.
I mean, but no, but y'all know though, like with cup games and things like that, it's especially when you playing in like, well, I guess this isn't even shots ML and y'all, but y'all wouldn't know about like having multiple competitions going on at once. But like when you have multiple ones that you playing in at once during the week, it's like you literally have to catch like, I don't know, you can really get beat in those FA Cup games or those Carabao Cup games when you got to go up against a team that's putting their all and getting that rah-rah bullshit when you're just playing a middle of the week game after you just came off of, I don't know, traveling to Anfield or some shit like that. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get up for games like that. So the fact that they were able to, still pull it off, and while at the same time coming from behind in the Prem, it is a credit to Pep on how he kind of handled it throughout the whole season. I don't know if you want to call it sleepwalking or just being strategic, but like he definitely played his cards correct in this one. And this it's kind of good for him because he gets that notion off his back that he's always like fucking around at certain points of the season and cost us trophies. So it's good to see him get that off his shoulders.
Charles, I know you've been itching, it looks like, to jump in real quick. Go ahead.
No, and it helps when you got Riyad Mahrez, who played like 12 minutes the last game, ready fresh to go for the FA Cup games. Alvarez and Foden, who haven't played but 30 minutes in the past week, running out as well. So I mean, they got squad depth. Like at the same time, like they have so much squad depth in certain spots. Like Phil Foden was hurt for most of the season, and you didn't notice. Mahrez hasn't really been even like really like involved. I would be interested in seeing what his total games were. What he did. Like Julian Alvarez scored all his damn goals and didn't even really play this year. Like they got depth and nobody really got. This is and they really didn't have any like key injuries. Like some of the guys went down in the back, but I mean when they're dominating the ball for 60% of the possession, somebody going down in the back's not that bad. But like one like Gundogan was out for 3 months, or somebody got hurt at the World Cup and needed, like, they didn't have a Gabby Jesus situation because they sold him, thank God. So I mean, I'm just saying they were also like one of the healthier teams too. You got
definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, Holland played every Premier League match that like in terms of, except for like the time they rested him when they won. It was the match day 37, I think, is when they decided to rest him. But yeah, he was having him, and obviously he was FA Player of the Year, FA Young Player of the Year. The other thing I think that I think it hurt some teams in terms of where as a role, but I think maybe the World Cup allowed Pep to tinker a little bit, and then they caught their stride. Like it was round of 16 against Bayern, or excuse me, against Dortmund, of where I think like then they got going, because then it was after they lost to Brentford right before the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, and then they went on like a 27 game unbeaten streak in every competition outside of the Carabao Cup, and that's because they don't care about the Carabao Cup. Like we don't care about the Carabao Cup. Some teams who don't have trophies since 2008, they care about the Carabao Cup. We don't care about the Carabao Cup. 27 unbeaten is crazy.
I wish we cared about the Carabao Cup. We'd actually get a trophy every once in a while.